her being just Tenz's girlfriend, Tenz of course who plays for Sentinels, and not just saying Kaede, who is a Twitch streamer. She has been given some credit by some outlets such as Dexerto in the headlines, just being named as Tenz's girlfriend. Congratulations are in order to Kaede as she does become the first international content creator for 100 Thieves.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E Report. It's time for Kai's Corner on OnsideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
Good morning here at beautiful Drive Pink Stadium. The sun is in the sky for now, and it's a great day unless you are a fan of the European Super League. In that case, I do not like you at all whatsoever because it is horrible. If you are
Super League, League.
No, Sean, we refuse. We refuse here. The Super League is a horrible thing.
I refuse. I love the idea.
Me, Dono, Toast.
All you soccer purists are starting to sound like Major League Baseball purists. Our rules are thou mighty.
They are, though. Listen, it is what it is, you know? If you don't want to play by the European soccer rules, then we don't want you. All these American owners coming in, ruining everything, as if I'm not American. You know, I'm just, you know how it is. It is what it is. Anyways, something to just quickly say. You know, I said to Toast in the crosstalk, if you guys were listening, that Bayern Munich already came out and said that they will not participate in the European Super League. And officially, Bayern Munich has released a press release saying, we will not play in the Super League. Absolutely not. Our members and fans reject a Super League. Remember, Bayern Munich is owned 50% by the fans. Says our members and fans reject a Super League. Our wish at FC Bayern and our goal is that a European club will live this wonderful and emotional Champions League competition and develop it together with UEFA. FC Bayern will say no to the Super League. Listen. I know my club, man. I know my club. And they have given me the greatness in my heart to be happy again. It's something that I think a lot of people forget when they talk about Bayern Munich. They're owned 50.1% by the fans. So any decision has to go through them anyways. So, it is what it is. Anyways, good morning to everybody that's listening on YouTube, or watching and listening on YouTube. Remember that you can subscribe and also hit that notification button. Make sure you also like the stream. When you hit the notification button, a reminder that you want to hit all notifications and not personalized notifications, and you will be able to get notified every single time a video goes live of a stream that gets posted, or whenever a stream goes live, you'll get a little notification saying that Onside Radio is live, and it'll tell you exactly what show it is, whether it is, you know, Toasted Sports, my show, the Onside Zone, Dono's show, Man of the Match, or anything on the weekends. You will get notified with all of that jazz. We have our polls for the day. We didn't have any polls yesterday. Of course, the hour show, we just go through anything that we heard over the weekend and then come throughout. And then we bring everything back to normal here to you guys on Tuesday when we go full 2 hour from Tuesday all the way up until. For the polls on this beautiful 20th day of April, are you a fan of the European Super League? 79.2% saying no, proud of those. 20.8% saying yes, still 2 hours to vote until those. The polls will close at noon. So if you're listening anywhere else on Podbean or anywhere else, you can go out there and find those on my Twitter at Samurai Radio. That's 2 I's in Samurai. And then radio also on the Onside Radio Twitter. And then while you're there, hit me with a follow as well as Onside Radio if you are ever so kind. The second one there is, as we get closer to the draft, do you think it's still Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase at number 6? 68.2% saying yes, 10.3% saying no, and 21.5% think that Greer is going to trade down. So 21.5% of people think that Chris Greer will trade down. One that I'm extremely surprised about, and we're going to talk with Ricky J. Mark here in just about 2 segments from now about the Miami Heat, and I'll also talk to him about the Super League because he is, of course, a fan of international football as well. Says, which Tyler Hero team are you a part of? I thought I'd have some fun with this because, of course, Heat fans are very up and down with Tyler Hero. When he has a great game, he's the greatest thing that's ever walked on earth. When he has a bad game or a string of bad games, he is the worst thing that's ever been ever. Anything the worst. Absolute worst. So, I decided to have a little fun with this. Which Tyler Hero team are you a part of? Are you team Chipotle Tyler? His Chipotle Bowl, you support him no matter what, essentially is what that means. Or are you team Chipotle Tyler, more like trash Tyler? 69.2% are Chipotle Tyler, and then 30.8% are more like trash Tyler. So a little bit of an interesting one there because I thought it was going to really lean heavily towards the trash side of things. However, thus far, I have been wrong. And then lastly, a revisited question from where we've been before. Who do you have more faith in? The Miami Marlins or the Florida Panthers? Before, when we asked this question, I believe I added the Heat and the Dolphins in it, and the Dolphins just took everything away. It was like, what do you, it's like about a championship. Who do you have more faith to win one? So I wanted to just single it down to the Marlins and the Panthers. Thus far, the Panthers dominating the vote at 76.4%, but they were way more ahead. They've kind of actually dialed back a little bit. It was hovering around 85% just about, I would say, 15 minutes ago. So some Marlins fans might be waking up. And again, you have until noon to vote in those polls. That's at Samurai Radio, 2 I's in Samurai, and then, of course, RADIO. So SAMURAII RADIO. You can also find them retweeted by the Onside Radio Twitter account. So I don't want to spend... Let me actually dial that back because I was going to very specifically talk about the Super League, and I think since I did that first segment yesterday, we're going to wait till we get Ricky on, and then we'll dive into it unless something else comes out. However, I do want to continuously give big ups to my my CEO in Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and in Herbert Heiner, the president of Bayern Munich, for denying Super League because that's very great. I asked the question of the which Tyler Hero team are you a part of, and we'll talk to Ricky J. Mark when he comes on about that. Just because, again, it feels like with Tyler Hero, nothing can ever be solid. And let me explain what I mean by that. We have two sides to what we feel, or I guess what Heat Twitter feels on Tyler Hero. There's the side that really does not like him and don't really know why he's currently still on the team. And then there's a side that wants to give him some breaks. What we saw in the bubble, it's still possible. Bubble Tyler can come back. He can be what we want him to be and everything we need him to be. So I still think, for me, that's possible, that he can be a very good player. I think that there's two sides to the extremes, though. The side that really likes Tyler, I think, is a very, very, very far extreme. And then the side that doesn't like him, I think, is also a very far extreme. I think both of them need to, which is not going to happen, but, it is what it is, need to come together in some form and fashion and come to the realization that Tyler Hero is not as bad as everyone makes him out to be. And he's also not as good as those who love him make him out to be. He's right there in a nice little middle. He is pretty good when you need him to be, and he does have his moments, and there's times where you look at him and you're getting frustrated with what's happening on the court. But at the same time, you're sitting there and you're just going, you know what? This is still someone who has a lot of promise. You only keep a player like this for one reason, and when he's the sticking point in multiple trades in order to get anybody at all for this Heat team, and he's the one that does not get traded, then there is obviously some merit to that. This is a guy who is the sticking point in trades, someone who wasn't being moved, even if, it was being asked to have him moved, and the team held strong. And I think that that's a good thing, and I think that's one thing that we will continue to look at. Tyler can be very good, and at the same time, he can be very bad. I think people need to look at the middle and say that he's still developing. This is still a young kid, and what you saw in the bubble, remember, it's like the bubble is like a rec league, and a lot of teams were either not used to it, and then a lot of teams were, and you were able to go out there and shoot. I mean, Terrence Ross, while he was in the bubble, said that it seems like it's like playing in a gym, and it's going to be easier to knock down certain shots, and there's certain things that you can hear a lot, so it's really just like a 5-on-5, just that it's an NBA game and there's going to be substitutions. I think the way that we looked at that was just kind of ridiculous, and the way that we continue to evaluate that, I don't think that that's the ceiling. Like, I think we all think that the floor, we all think that the floor for Tyler is what we saw in the bubble, rather than thinking that that could be his possible ceiling, rather than thinking that there's a lot that we could get out of him that would be very good and beneficial for the team, rather than just being in a situation where we're going out there and saying, all right, well, Tyler can do this, Tyler can do that, but he's not going to be fantastic. I just think, again, there's everyone's on too far sides of the spectrum when it comes to their thoughts on Tyler. So I think that we need to just kind of round out there. Speaking of rounding, oh man, I literally completely forgot that the roundtable was even about Tyler. Anyways, I will reference that again. So now that we're a year removed from his play and hype for the roundtable here today, are you now concerned Tyler Hero may not hit his ceiling that's unexpected? Again, so to reiterate what I said there is, and I completely forgot that it was on Tyler Hero. I thought it was on the Heat in general. That's a my bad on Kai there.
Damn right, it's your bad.
But I think, like I said, I don't think what we saw at Tyler was like the floor that everyone expects him to be. And I don't think it's the same ceiling that everyone expects him to be. I think that Tyler is right in the middle of what everyone who says good things about him say, and right in the middle of what everyone who says bad things about him say. Tyler is not this horrible player that everyone thinks he's going to be. And at the same time, he's not this outstanding superstar right now that everyone thinks he's going to be. Let the player develop. Let the player continue to move and try to become something and develop his skills and round out his skills, because you don't just become, not every single player comes out and can play in a man's league like Zion Williamson, like LeBron James, like Kobe Bryant. You don't, and even Kobe had struggles too, but not everyone comes out of that and can be the one that comes out of that, right? It takes a lot to develop yourself and become something. I mean, look at like a Kyle Lowry, look at like I don't know how much or where I would compare Tyler to, but like I guess it's a good comparison, like Kyle Lowry, where you look at that and you say, okay, guys sometimes have to develop. DeMar DeRozan, like, you don't just give up off of 1 year and 1 season. I think everyone needs to calm down a little bit. I think that he will eventually hit a ceiling of being a very good NBA player, but I don't think he'll hit that ceiling of being this all-around superstar that some people might want him to be, and I think that that's still fine anyways, and I think it'll all work out. And mentality will be a big part of that. But that is my thoughts there for the roundtable side of question for Tyler Hero and just everything in general. Like I said, we're going to have on Ricky J. Mark, not in the next segment, but the segment following there at 10:34. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to him about the Super League because he, of course, like I said, is a very big European soccer fan, as I am. And then we'll also talk to him about the Miami Heat and get his thoughts on Tyler Hero. Dolphins fans, you can join us for Onside Radio's NFL Draft Party at Sports Grill in Miami at 11481 Southwest 40th Street and Bird Road. Join Big O and Alex Donald for this 2-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th. That is next week at 7:30, and then Friday for day 2 of the NFL Draft at 6:30 p.m. They have drink and food specials. There will be giveaways and the best damn draft party in South Florida. Join us for a 2-night event as OnsideRadio.com and Sports Grill in Bird Road bring you the best NFL draft party on the planet.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodiasDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moodias family. Dr. Moodias is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodiasDental.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin', to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Watch Toast get frustrated with Marsh. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Inter Miami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnsideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
Looking back at our first game, after a couple of rewatches, I've decided that I wanted to give my man of the match on Inter Miami side, not on Galaxy side, because we might be going with Chicharito. But on Inter Miami side, it's a toss-up between Robbie Robinson and Gonzalo Higuain. I'm going to slant a little bit towards Robbie Robinson. I think he created a lot in attack on the left wing. Phil Neville instructing him to do well in that role has been good for this team. Higuain with the goal and the assist. Obviously, it has a shout for the man of the match, but I'm going to go with Robbie Robinson and the chances he created and the goal he ended up scoring.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right. Here in segment number 2. I like the music choice as we get in here and just continue on for the show. Want to thank those who have been watching and listening on YouTube, whether it has been today or just any day past and then in the future. We really appreciate it. I know I really appreciate it. Having the conversation with you guys is also extremely fun. And I know, even though Big O's, he's here and I know his mic's not on, but I know he has a good time as well from when I watch his show and that communication stuff. I love that stuff. So I just want to say thank you to that. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe as well. Hit that notification button and make sure it says all notifications not personalized, because personalized, it'll very randomly send you them and it won't really be when you expect them. I have some personalized for some channels that I like but don't like that much, and I'll get a notification for a video that they posted like a month before the notification even hit me. So it just sometimes it doesn't do everything the way it should be. I would say do all. It's not that big of a notification, especially not from us here. You know, you're just gonna get notifications when the streams goes live, and then when they finally render and then post on the YouTube side of things, then you'll also get that one. So if you miss a show and you want to go back, you'll get a notification and it'll be like that little reminder. Oh, you know, maybe I missed Big O's show today and I wanted to listen. I knew he was going to talk to XYZ, so let me go out there and find it. And you can go out there and you can look at it and you know where everything's going to be. So I think that's another good thing. Obviously, you can listen to its segment as well in podcast form if you want to do that. But I know me personally, I like watching the video. I don't know. It's just something for me. Anyways, like I said, we're going to talk about a bunch of things today. And, of course, it's going to all go off of just everything that's happened in the past few days and over the weekend. Yesterday, we talked a lot about the Inter Miami game. We are possibly, depending on if Austin's work drives him to the ground, having him tomorrow to talk about the Inter Miami game more in depth. So Austin will come on with us. Of course, tomorrow is Royal Wednesday, as a reminder for everyone. So we'll have Royal Shepherd in. He'll be back and everything will be great and gravy. But we are, we talked about the Tyler Hero stuff. I think someone mentioned to me on Twitter, said, people need to leave Tyler alone. Strike when the iron's hot. Tell me the last time the Heat put their business out there. And it's a gift that just says never. And I think it's, I don't know, I find it funny, a little bit enjoyable. We're also going to talk with Omar Kelly in the second hour. And when we talk with him, a part of our EJD Construction, MiamiDolphins.com, or EJDConstruction.com report with the Miami Dolphins. Anyways, that's what it is. EJDConstruction.com, Miami Dolphins report. We will talk with Omar Kelly there. That'll be at 11:30. I'll ask him. And I've been asking the question because I think more and more, and that's what we're going to talk about right now, more and more, it seems like my pipe dream of, and it wasn't really more so a pipe dream, but my dream of rooting for a Florida Gator as a part of the Miami Dolphins is dwindling and will cease to exist, because it seems like, and this has been the thing for months now anyways, I think the cloud of judgment of those of us who very, very much love Kyle Pitts and or Jamar Chase. I mean, they're both fantastic players. Either one getting picked at 6 would be just fantastic for Tua and the team. But for those who are on my side of things, where it's Kyle Pitts no matter what, I'm like Kevin Costner in Draft Day. I have my Post-it note that says Vontae Mack no matter what, except I erased Vontae Mack, and it says Kyle Pitts. I, of course, want the Dolphins to draft Kyle Pitts. The dude's an absolute mismatch. He's one of the best playmakers that we've had come out of the draft in just such a long time. He could have been playing in the NFL last season, I think, in terms of how much of just how much of a guy he is. I think the development again for another year, obviously, coming out as a junior, worked for him and just extremely, extremely upped his stock. The Kyle to Kyle connection was great. But again, it's just been too much. It's died down a little bit, which is very interesting to me. And then it'll be really interesting to see what happens and how things play out coming into, I guess, from Thursday this week onto about like next Wednesday, I would say. Because I think the way that we looked at it, right? We saw a lot of Devonta Smith hype very, very early on, and especially after the Heisman and National Championship game. And then it just died. They're not going to get him. He's too, tiny, too slim. They're not going to be able to make it work with him. Slim Reaper, yada, yada, yada. You have to have guys who shouldn't be defending him in the first place, but going out there and defending him. In Chad Ochocinco, going out there, defending him and saying, I played at this. Like, Chad was a skinny guy, but Chad was a fantastic route runner. And Chad had people scared at his feet. That's what we can get. Now, is Devonta Smith some fantastic, outstanding route runner? No. Can he create separation? Yeah. Can he be a weapon for Tua Tagovailoa? At the end of the day, what matters the most? Being a weapon for Tua Tagovailoa. And he's going to be a weapon. Him, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, Dwayne Eskridge, Rondell Moore, though I don't like him too much after seeing an interview that he had. But there's so many wide receiving talents and so many talents in this draft. I feel my disappointment will come if he's there. If Kyle Pitts is there at 6 and the Dolphins pass, I might put a hole through my computer screen. But if that's not the situation, he gets picked, let's say, number 4 by the Falcons, which I think Mel Kiper has in his latest draft, like in his latest mock draft, I won't be too upset. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You want to get extra draft capital to do things in the future, and that's exactly what the Dolphins go out there and do. What am I going to be upset about? Like, there's nothing for me to be upset at that point. Listen, you did what was good for business. You collected extra draft capital, and you still put yourself in a position at number 6 to go out there and make a play. So that I wouldn't be frustrated if he went 4. I know people are going to be frustrated. Oh, yeah, you could have just, stuck at 3 and took Pitts there. I wouldn't be mad. I would not be frustrated at all. However, again, I would be frustrated, and my disappointment would be very, very mile high, like a lot of people are going to be today, over the sure fact that they passed him up. If Kyle Pitts is on the board and they pass him up for Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle, then my frustration will be through the roof. I might wake up on the 30th and be a little bit better, coming here a little happier. It's a Friday, but the frustration would be huge. I think I'm starting to realize that the Pitts pick will not be at number 6, and the Dolphins will not get him. And I'm preparing myself for disappointment so that situation doesn't disappoint me as much as it should. And I think anyone else who's on my side of things that thinks that Pitts is just an animal and would want him, and or you're just a Gators fan like myself who believes, point A, and then also you're a Gators fan, so point B, A and B, that's fantastic already. When you're looking at those quizzes and it says choice A, choice B, choice C, then choice D is both A and B, I like to click that. That's where I'm going to go with this one. And it'll be unfortunate. But I think the biggest thing out of all of this is they have so many options no matter what. Like, you can't, it would be so hard for Chris Greer, Brian Flores, Stephen Ross, Reggie McKenzie, all these guys that are helping in this draft to mess it up. It would, if they didn't walk away with, or they don't walk away with Smith, Waddle, Pitts, Chase, even Penei Sewell, sorry Tito, or a Kadarius Toney, or those are kind of like the big first round or fringe first round guys. In Kadarius Toney, possible first round, maybe not. If they don't walk away with one of them, I don't know. I don't know how I could be, as a Dolphins fan, okay with that. They need to walk away with one of those guys. Now, I think it needs to be Pitts, and I think when I take my Gators fandom out of it, I watch him play, and if you look at the tape with Kyle Pitts, and I don't know how many times I'll have to ever say it, Kyle Trask was, I think, very good in the SEC last season. Do I think that right now he's a first-round quarterback? No. Do I think under the right coaching staff that he could be? Anyone could be. Under the right coaching staff, any quarterback could be the greatest thing that we've ever seen. Tom Brady was not good at Michigan, and then Tom Brady was a backup to Drew Bledsoe in New England. He gets put in the perfect situation. He develops with the right people. Tom Brady's mind now is more and greater than anything that we've seen in just years of this sport. So in the right situation, anyone can be great. Anyone. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo got his contract off of a few games because he was put in the right situation. Anyone can be great when put in the right situation. So do I think Kyle Trask could be? Sure. But what he and Kyle Pitts did, it was fantastic to watch. And on tape, you're watching this dude catch every single ball, make every single play, and make some of the top defensive backs in this draft look foolish. Make some of the top linebackers in this draft look foolish. Safeties, foolish. Sometimes even he would do good in blocking, and Kyle Pitts can't really block that well. I'm not saying that he's not a great I'm not, decent. He's a decent blocker. He's not, George Kittle or Travis Kelce level, but he's a very decent blocker. I think, again, it's just you go back to it where I'm preparing myself that Kyle Pitts will not be the pick, that it's going to be Devonta Smith. I will make my official prediction on draft day, and that morning on the show, I will give my official and only mock draft that day. So it'll pretty much just be an entire day of going through mock draft picks, most likely, unless something crazy happens. But that I will give my official prediction then. My hope is that it's Kyle Pitts. My gearing up for disappointment says it's going to be Devonta Smith, and then I'll be disappointed probably for like 5 minutes, and then I'll realize that we got Devonta Smith, and Devonta Smith is also very good. So, it is what it is. Anyways, we're going to talk with Ricky J. Mark coming up in the next segment. We'll talk to him about his thoughts on the Super League. I want to catch up because he actually posted a video here a little bit ago where he talked about it, so I want to catch up just so I can ask him a couple things on what he said. And then we're also going to talk to him about the Miami Heat. Heat and NBA fans can catch Ira Winderman here exclusively at OnsideRadio.com with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. You can catch Ira throughout the week on OnsideRadio.com. And when news breaks, basketball fans know Onside Radio is the place to get the insight you need.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Heat beats the Houston Rockets 113-91. Kendrick Nunn had 30 points. The Heat's next game is Wednesday in San Antonio. Tip-off is 8:30. The Florida Panthers win their second in a row, this time a 3-2 win over Columbus. They skate again tonight with the Blue Jackets. Puck drops at 7. Vanessa Bryant and Kobe Bryant's estate have elected not to renew the partnership. Kobe's Nike contract expired on 4/13. This is South Florida's home for local sports. This is OnsideRadio.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right, we're gonna have on Ricky J. Mark here from 5 Reasons Sports. I want to just shout out the YouTube chat because it's been pretty funny what they've been saying today. Of course, with what today is. Ricky, how are you, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm disappointed in these elitist American-owned clubs that think that they are the most greatest things that have ever happened. I haven't got a chance yet to see what you talked about on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel, but I want to ask, and we'll get into the Heat stuff, of course, what are your thoughts on everything that's happening right now with the European Super League?
So in all honesty, I truly understand where, both sides are coming from with regards to all of this. I've always been the kind of person that has been more along the lines of, we do need to care more about the fans and all that other stuff with regards to ticket prices and everything like that. Unfortunately, we don't know, at least for me, I'm not going to claim to know everything about the details of this European Super League. I know that JP Morgan is involved with financing and that a lot of different teams are going to be trying to create some sort of
billion per team.
Yeah, so it's going to create some sort of exclusive league. I do have concerns over what this could mean for the Champions League, Europa League, and how this could really throw UEFA into turmoil even more so than it was before. I just want to see what happens, and it is interesting because leading up to this point, those of us that have been critical of UEFA Champions League have always talked about how flawed, how elitist, and how exclusive a lot of that is already. And it's interesting to see how we're suddenly defending it now that the Super League is on the verge of forming. Now, I wouldn't consider myself pro Super League, pro the other side. I just want to see what happens. I want to see what the details are because as someone who has legal training, you never release a verdict until both sides have completed their arguments, and we're only just getting started.
Do you think, and there's a few things to this. I mean, I like what what UEFA has done with the new update to what they want to do with the Champions League come 2024. I think it's going to bring a lot of parity. Obviously, in terms of like teams like Ajax, now that they have the opportunity, and that's good because their league is more, up in the standings or whatever, they should never have to go through playoffs ever. They should be guaranteed a spot because if you win that league in the Netherlands and you're a team like Ajax that does so a lot, you should be in. Those are some things I think are ridiculous. France only has 3 spots. I think that's ridiculous. There's certain things I think that I like that they're adjusting and trying to make. And on the monetary side, one thing that's come out has been, teams like Shakhtar Donetsk, when they get in, are making $500,000, and teams like Bayern Munich, though yes, that's my club and everything, are making $100 million for winning, which they should. But then another report had come out the other week when they lost to PSG that they had already reached $100 million, and they're not even in the semifinals in terms of what they've gotten from the Champions League. And obviously, you get more money depending on how big of a club you are, the distribution. But I do agree. I think UEFA is corrupt. I think FIFA is corrupt. I think just what's been happening with the Super League and how they went about it makes it very anti-fan, in my opinion. I want to ask really quickly here, and then we'll get to the Heat.
Sure.
Liverpool and I think a few other clubs have already left the ECA. That means that they cannot play in the Champions League ever again unless they change whatever rule. Once you leave the ECA, you're not allowed back in, and you cannot play Champions League football. You cannot play European football at that high level, so you cannot do anything. What are your thoughts on these teams taking that measure, and before anything has even been finalized and solidified and you have everything going, already making the decision to jump ship and not be able to participate again?
Yeah, I think it's concerning because you want to think that this didn't happen in 2 days, that they've been planning this for quite some time. I mean,
apparently it's been 10 years. So, because the Bayern Munich chairman came out and talked about it.
Right. So you and all of us within the football chat, you know much better than me that this has been planned for quite some time, right? So it's kind of surprising to see how they're willing to go through with this at the potential expense of so many other teams. Now, coming from a Manchester City fan's perspective, you know, we've been under attack for quite a few years from various teams in the Premier League who made recommendations, who were basically trying to snitch on us for something we may or may not have done. And now they go ahead and they turn around and they do something like this. In many ways, you could honestly say that it's hypocrisy, because they're always saying, like, for a team like Manchester City, who is a relatively new comer on the global stage or on the European Championship stage, you know, we're viewed as like, oh yeah, we're bought with oil money, it's a cash grab, all this other stuff. But then you go ahead and join a league that is guaranteeing you $3 billion to start, and you're leaving all the other ones, and after you claim to be for the little guy, you're basically leaving them in the dust. Now, at the same time, I have to ask this question because, you know, I'm still learning more and more about the dynamics of the sport from the club level. Isn't this something similar to when the Premier League was formed 30 years ago? Because at one point there was the EFL, and then a group of about 20 teams decided we're going to form our own super league of sorts within England. And we have the television revenue, we have the television contracts ready to go. And sure, the difference is relegation and promotion, but isn't this just a different version of what we saw then? I mean, these are just questions that I have. So ultimately, I think it's just, I don't know, it's kind of sus to see that. At the end of the day, it's a cash grab. Teams are going to be looking for ways to make more money for themselves, and it doesn't really surprise me at the end of it. I just hope, honestly, that the fans are still able to enjoy the sport the way it was meant to be enjoyed. If that gets interfered with, then we might have ourselves a real problem.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm hoping that everything turns out in a very good light, because I just think that this could be something that gets very, very big, and it could turn into something that we hopefully don't end up getting to. But with the Heat now, it's kind of another situation. You know, today's big topic is on Tyler Hero, and it feels like it's always, I mean, just in general with the Heat, it's always on Tyler Hero. Even if they win, if they lose, people are just upset and annoyed at what Tyler does. What are your thoughts on Tyler now? I know I've asked you, you know, previously, and I believe you said you would keep Tyler, and it also comes down to contract stuff. But what do you think is the issue right now?
Well, you know, at this point, he's a sophomore. It's his second year. He's had an up and down season. I'm not really worried about him. I think you give him an opportunity to succeed, and I think the Heat have done everything in their power to make sure that is the case. But given that he is struggling right now, and he is a competitive player, I say you give him a challenge. You challenge him to work his way back into the rotation, because as we've seen, you know, nothing is automatically, and it's ironic given what we were just talking about. You know, you got to earn your spot in this rotation. If KZ plays well, for example, he's going to get more minutes. If Gabe Vincent plays well, he'll get more minutes. If Tyler is able to play well in whatever minutes he's given, he'll get more minutes. But there's no doubt in my mind that this team is invested in Tyler Hero. After all, he was a lottery pick. They did invest in him a great deal because, you know, this team we don't often pick in the lottery, and Pat Riley likes trading those things like hotcakes anyway. So I'd like to see Hero continue to work hard, and he'll find his way. I mean, the playoffs are around a month away, and I feel like that could very well be the stage in which he gets his redemption story. But then again, that's just me being optimistic.
How do you feel with Dwayne Dedmon and how he's been playing in the games that he's played?
I think Dwayne Dedmon is doing his job as a big man, rebounding, blocking shots, altering shots at the rim, and just providing a presence that we've needed for so long in the absence of Bam. A lot of the big guys that we've had on this roster have been more perimeter oriented or slow footed or not really all that athletic. But Dedmon is pretty much sliding into a role that has been occupied by multiple big men in the past. I would like to think that Eric Spoelstra makes it very easy for players, especially like Dedmon, to play well, rebound, block shots, be a presence, set screens. Now, for Heat fans out there, don't get too excited. Okay, this is only his second game. Yeah, I don't think he's missed any shots yet, but there will be bad games. There will be games in which Dedmon might seem unplayable. Remember, this is a guy who didn't play basketball for a year for whatever reason. So, you know, don't get too excited. Don't treat this guy like the second coming of Hassan Whiteside, and just hope for the best that he gives you what you need and plugs up a few holes in your offense.
All right. Well, the number 21 has never looked so good for the Miami Heat being there with Dwayne Dedmon. I think that it's awesome. Anyways, Ricky, thank you so much for joining, man. Of course, you can find him on Twitter at RickyJMark, and then catch all of his takes there. And he goes very, very in-depth. So every time that Ricky tweets, it's always something that he goes in-depth with, and it's very thought out. So make sure you go follow him there. Ricky, thank you so much for joining, man.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
It's toast. Smartest thing I did last year? Called B&T Windows and Doors and had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house. Listen, it's spring. That means before you know it, we'll be hearing about the tropics churning. That means you need to get your home and family protected today. Call B&T right now and they'll get you installed ASAP with the best in the business, PGT Custom Windows and Doors. 954-233-0126 or bntwindowsanddoors.com. And P.S. Tell them you heard about them on Onside Radio.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnsideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The Panthers kept pace for first place in the Central Division, taking down the Columbus Blue Jackets last night by the score of 4-2. Frank Vetrano stayed hot, scoring twice and getting off a game-high 7 shots on goal. Trade deadline acquisition Sam Bennett continued to fit right in with his new squad. He scored a goal last night, giving him 3 points in his first 2 games as a Panther. The Cats and Blue Jackets will get right back at it, closing out the second half of their back-to-back set tonight at the BB&T Center. The big news heading into tonight's game is Panthers' top goaltending prospect Spencer Knight will make his NHL debut between the pipes for Florida. The 20-year-old was selected in the first round of the 2019 NHL Draft and has been stellar since then, playing for Boston College in the NCAA ranks and for Team USA internationally. Florida enters today's games tied with the Carolina Hurricanes for first place in the Central Division. The Hurricanes are also wrapping up a back-to-back tonight. They're in Tampa, facing the Lightning. As it stands, Florida and Carolina are ahead of Tampa by 1 point in the Central Division standings.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Rounding out hour one. Donald tweeted out, "It's another terrible take Tuesday on Onside Radio." He said, "If you've come across any terrible takes, sports, food, entertainment, send them his way." Dono, if you're listening, I know you were listening yesterday, so I'm assuming you're listening today. Just take my terrible take as literally anything that's been tweeted out by the European Super League and their clubs. That's my terrible take. Usually I try to tweet you something I've seen, but that is my terrible take. Everything that's been in there, just add that all, clump it all up together. All of it. I hate it. It frustrates me so much. I want to go. There's been a lot that's come out, and the story right now is ever evolving. Everything that's happening with the European Super League, it's not a set in stone thing right now because everything is changing. Everything, from what we know is going to happen to, like I was talking with Ricky. What's crazy to me is these clubs, some of them have already left the ECA. And for anyone that doesn't know what the ECA is, it's essentially the European committee that they have. In order to be a part of it, you have to, in order to play in any UEFA competition. So whether that's the Europa League, Champions League, Champions League, Europa League playoffs, whatever it is, if it's a UEFA competition, you need to be a part of the ECA at a club level. And these teams are notified. Once you leave the ECA, you are not allowed back in. There is no, we'll consider it. No. Once you leave, your time as a part of a European club in these competitions is done and dusted. And I believe 2 more clubs. I don't know the exact ones. I've been trying to find it, but I can't find out the exact ones. But Liverpool is the first confirmed one that we know of. Have already left the ECA. So what they're saying is, we know that the European Super League says that they're going to start as quickly as possible, but we're already going to leave the Champions League. We're already out of it anyways this year. We're going to leave the Champions League, and we're never coming back. So this whole, we're doing this for the fans, and it's for the development of football, and they're right. What they've said about UEFA and FIFA, oh my gosh, are they right? They're both corrupt organizations. Very corrupt organizations. Especially FIFA. We're playing a World Cup in December in Qatar. They're corrupt organizations. 100% agree with you. Check mark. The issue that comes in is how you're dealing with it. You've left the Champions League. This is about the fans, but you're leaving the Champions League. It's about the fans, but you're making these domestic clubs. You're forcing them through public talk to try to come along. What they've said. You have your coaches of your team, some of the best coaches in the world, Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, coming out, Jose Mourinho, before they sacked him 6 days before a final with Tottenham Hotspur, coming out and speaking against it. You have fans going to the stadiums, these clubs that have been supported by their parents, their parents' parents, their parents' parents, generations, 100+ years of supporting a club. And as much as I hate to say it, I think what has been said yesterday and will continue to be said today, and what Toast brought up as well, man, it's us, the American owners, that are coming in there and making it what it isn't, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. However, it has been confirmed multiple times, so I want to make sure to reconfirm a few things. The German association said that they are proud that no clubs will agree to join the Super League officially. Bayern Munich officially confirmed they will not join. PSG officially confirmed this morning as well. They will not join. And they have also said that Kylian Mbappe and Neymar will be staying at PSG in the coming years as contracts are being worked out. Big news there for PSG fans. Keeping Mbappe in France, which I think he should stay in, to be honest, is great. So good news for that. We're going to round out hour 1 here and then bring up hour 2. Again, we'll talk with Omar Kelly, a part of the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report at 11:30. Florida Panthers fans have a place to call home every Saturday morning as Cats insider David Dwork will host Chirping the Cats Radio every Saturday at 10 a.m. Onside Radio is committed to all sports. Panthers fans can now connect every Saturday from 10 to 11 with David Dwork on the home for Panthers fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
It's toast. Smartest thing I did last year? Called B&T Windows and Doors and had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house. Listen, it's spring. That means before you know it, we'll be hearing about the tropics churning. That means you need to get your home and family protected today. Call B&T right now and they'll get you installed ASAP with the best in the business, PGT Custom Windows and Doors. 954-233-0126 or bntwindowsanddoors.com. And P.S. Tell them you heard about them on Onside Radio.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
It's time for Kai's Corner on OnsideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
All right, hour 2 here. I've seen a few people now. I've never thought that football would make it into the 5 Reasons group chat, but it is there, and I've seen some people who agree with the Super League, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to bow myself out of that. I don't think I can have another conversation about it. I think the very, very last thing that I can add here until it continues to develop and we get more of a story, and of course, if we have Austin on tomorrow, we'll for sure talk to him about that, of course, and the Inter Miami game. I think the one thing that I can add, for anyone that is a European soccer fan that is looking out for any more potential drama, there are some very faint rumors because someone a part of UEFA came out and mentioned that there is a possibility that they will disqualify all teams who are still in the Champions League and Europa League from finishing out the competition this season. I doubt that goes through, but the comment that was made said that the decision will be made by Friday. And it wasn't like it came through a reporter. It came from the source himself on the committee for UEFA. So that's something to look forward to. I'd be shocked if that happened, but those teams would be Real Madrid, Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Man City. That would be kicked out of the remaining Champions League and Europa League games. The rumor that comes back is that the teams that they had beat in the quarterfinals would then come back into the Champions League in Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, and Porto, and they would play the semifinals with those teams. Very interesting. I'm excited. I hope it actually kind of does happen because that'd be funny to watch Man City fans be upset. But I also hope it doesn't happen because as a Bayern Munich fan, that's just, you're giving them an extra chance, and I don't like that. It's obviously not how it is going, but I don't. You lost fair and square. Should be out. Do I think PSG should be handed the championship or the trophy? No. Maybe you do a scenario where you have the final from last year with Bayern, who won, play against PSG since they're technically the last team standing. That could make something. That could be revenue, but they're not going to lose out on the revenue from the semifinals and finals. That's 3 games per team, 3 for PSG if they get there. First, second leg final. Same thing for City. Same thing for Real Madrid, and same thing from Chelsea. That they're not going to miss out that money. They're just not going to. So I don't think it's going to happen. It'll be interesting if it does, though. To cover a couple of things here. So something that came into the chat that I wanted to talk about, I thought was very interesting. It said, have we heard about, this is from North Cal, anyone else here that there's 4 London games on the NFL regular season schedule this year? I bet we play the Giants in London. That's how it always happens. I mean, we played the Giants in London twice. One of them was in that 2007 year that the Giants went on to beat the Patriots. Then we played the Giants in New York on Eli's last year, which was 2 years ago now, technically, when he had his final game and they beat us, which just I don't even want to, And then from there, now we play the Giants again, which is cool. The Giants are my second favorite team because I just grew up cheering for the Giants more than I did the Dolphins, and then I became more of a Dolphins fan. So that would be cool. I would love to stomp down on Daniel Jones and the Giants and just put an absolute beating there. Here's my thing with the London games, actually. Let me cover that first. I understand it from a money point of view. I think that also from growing the game, not only just in America, but in other countries. I mean, you had the biggest story. Oh, I wish I remembered his name. He was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings about 4 or 5 years ago. And it's when Mel Kiper was still on NFL Network, and it was someone that he really liked. And he was a wide receiver that was from Germany. The Vikings ended up drafting him, and they had him on NFL Network before he got drafted. Then he got drafted by the Vikings. Then they had him on right afterwards again. And it was something big because he was a German guy coming in, had some promise, and of course it was a good story. Nothing ever ended up turning out with him. I think they tried making him a tight end. He didn't really have great preseasons, and he kind of fell through. I wish I remembered his name, but I can't. It's just losing me. I think it's great to have these games like in London and Mexico, and of course with these stadiums. I mean, Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium is beautiful. It is one of the best stadiums in club football right now. It is fantastic. So having those games, I think, is great. I would love to see it get opened up. Like, go to Germany, go to Spain, have these games in other places, grow the outreach. I think that they're great. I think they should have a bye after that game that they have internationally. If you go and you make that trip to London, I don't think that you should, because sometimes they don't have byes. I think you should definitely have a bye coming out of that game, going out there and making sure that the players get the rest that they need, because that is a very weird transition to be here in America, then going to England, and then having to come back. And sometimes it sucks. Like, you make that travel, you do all that stuff, you play that game. One of the teams has to lose unless you tie. One of the teams most likely is going to have to lose, and you have to then make that trip all the way back with that loss hanging over your head. I think it's insane. But I think that they're great for growing the game, and it's something that you want to continue to do, especially considering how much has been on, not the game dying, but people who don't want their kids playing football. I mean, I've talked with so many, parents who have come through because of where I currently work, and they, even with the tennis players that have come through that have kids, and they've talked about how much that they love, football, how much they love soccer, how much they love all these sports. But for them, their kids, even if their kids love football, they don't want their kids playing it because they're scared of concussions and they're scared of what's going to happen to their child. So they don't want to let them play. So they do other things like playing tennis, and they do other things like playing, whether it's soccer or whether it's, some of them play golf. It's like they do other things for their kids and they can't play football. But I have those conversations with them, and I understand. I mean, it's scary stuff. You're going out there and you're having situations like that where, I mean, everyone knows a lot of the stories that happen. And with the CTE and the horrible things that, because of just the constant hits to your head, helmet to helmet, that you can just be left with permanent brain damage and be left in a horrible position where you're not controlling what's going on. So that stuff I completely understand. One of the things that I think it just, that has caused, and of course the movie, the Tell the Truth, everything like that with Will Smith, that stuff comes out and a lot of people start to really be against it, and people think that the viewership for football and everything's dying. I think getting it to a more international reach, having those games in the UK, having it brought to those fans, those are things that they look forward to, going out there, and it's a change from the norm. Usually, especially if you're a Tottenham fan, you're going out there and you're watching your team disappoint you season after season after season. You can come out there and let's say it's, I don't know, the Bears against the Colts, and for whatever reason you like, I was going to say Andrew Luck, but Andrew Luck obviously doesn't play, but he did before when they went up to the UK. Let's say that you like Andrew Luck a lot. For whatever reason, you liked his beard or you like this, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to be a Colts fan. And now you're watching these games, even if they're at the earliest of times for you, and you're watching them and you're enjoying them, and you love the game and you're looking forward, oh, when's the next time that my team's going to come up here and play? And you love the game. Oh, I want to go to America. I want to go watch my team play. I think that's fantastic, because the same love that I think I and many other people have for football and club football and European football is the same love that they could get for American football. That aspect of what that team, and when you learn more about the history of a team and you learn about how they've been, what they believe in, it's just, there's so much more on the European side of what they look at for clubs and what they look at for teams rather than what we do here. Obviously, for most people, it's like, it could be a star that you grew up watching that you just loved watching play, and that's how you became a fan of that team. I know Royal, for Royal Shepherd, what he said for him was he was playing youth football, and his team was the something Lions, and their colors were yellow and green. And those were the colors of his team. They became his favorite colors. So what he did was he then, as a kid, went and found what team in the NFL was yellow and green, and that was the Green Bay Packers, and so they were his favorite team. It's little things like that you could bring out to a kid, to anyone there in the UK, that they could look at that and they could be like, oh my gosh, because of whatever, I love this, that player made an outstanding catch, whether that's like Odell or someone just making some fantastic play, and instantly you can get those goosebumps. You can get the love for the game and be like, this is going to be my favorite team. I think that outreach is awesome. I think I would love to see it play in other, countries as well, not just in England. I think, getting it to Germany, Spain, I mean, those are probably going to be the biggest hubs. Maybe even if you go to like Portugal, something like that, I think would be fantastic. I think that would be awesome. It would bring the game, and they already have the program. And just like to get all of it wrapped up in a nice little bow, they already have that program for these players. I mean, the Dolphins have one right now. I can't remember his name either, but he's Brazilian, and he's run through that NFL program where they get to add on another player onto whatever they have, whether it's a practice squad or something else, as long as it's their player that they get from this specific program. And it was the AFC East, I believe it was 2 years ago that he was put into the AFC East, and the AFC East had the chances, and he came upon the Dolphins. It's Raul Neto. I don't remember his last name, but he was a defensive tackle, and they're trying to make him an offensive lineman now. And you get those chances. I mean, there's another one that plays for the Panthers that, I can't remember where he's from, but there's another one that plays for the Panthers. It's a defensive lineman. He wears number 94, and he had a couple breakout games last year, and he broke out in London. Like, you get the chance. I believe he is from London, but he broke out in London, and it's a chance. Not only are you then, you have this chance and you fall in love with the sport to go ahead and then say, okay, I can do this. I can get to this place, and it can make everything work for me, and I can go out there and make my dream come true. And you get the chance through this program that the NFL has, and going out there and reaching other people, because football is played in other countries. It's not just, left alone here in America to be there. Neto, I don't know how to say that last one. Quieroz. Quieros? I would not know how to say that. But at least I got the name right. It was Raul Neto. I just don't know. I didn't know his last name. I thought it started with a Q, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But thank you, Herman, for that, by the way. You have players like that who can come out there and they can go through this program and have the ability to go from just loving this sport or playing it in the European leagues that they have around, whether it's the football that they play, and they can come here, they can learn the sport better, and if they get that chance and they use what they've been able to use, their talent that they've been given, or just anything from a mental aspect. One of the things that we hear from some of the great players, even Tom Brady has said, even if, and clearly Tom Brady is not there in terms of like peak performance of what he can do, but it's the mental aspect, being able to learn the game and what you're able to do. I think that is going to be awesome. And although I hate having to wake up early, I'm not a morning person for those. I've become a little bit of a morning person now, but I'm not really a morning person. So although I don't like, waking up at 9:30 to watch those games, I think it makes my Sundays feel really empty because they're not there once football season's in effect. I think it's great for the outreach for the NFL, what they can do, and I think that provides a lot just because you're getting it to new eyes, getting it to new fans, people who could fall in love with the sport, and obviously business-wise, it's going to pour money into your franchise, it's going to pour money into the league, and everything's going to make everything be great because, the more money, the merrier, and I think that'll be fantastic. But I like it. I'm not against it. I just think maybe getting it in a few more countries would also be cool. I hope that they don't do it this season because I think we're maybe taking a step too quick into going out there and choosing to make that step to go and travel again when we still aren't really sure what's happening with everything in just, with COVID, and especially in the UK because they've been banned from traveling into other countries in Europe. So I think that'll be interesting to see and how that all, cooks out and how we see everything go. So hopefully we get a lot of that, and hopefully we get a lot of it in the future. I just think, again, this season, I don't really know. I don't think that it would be just the greatest idea just because, again, I don't think we know how everything's going to shape out. And I think predicting those games now, maybe having them on the schedule, and look, if it's not able to happen, it doesn't happen. But I think I would err on the side of caution right now for what's going to happen with this next season because, again, there are soccer clubs in Europe that cannot go from one half to the other. You can't go from England to Germany and other places. They do not allow it because of the variants that are happening. So I think that's something that they have to keep an eye on. Like we said in the top of the first hour and throughout the first hour and then the top of the second hour here, we're going to have on Omar Kelly at 11:30 for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Every Monday, Heat and NBA fans can catch the best hour of basketball talk when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host the Pallet Rack City Inside the Paint show. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business and get your year-round insight every Monday from 10 to 11 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodiasDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moodias family. Dr. Moodias is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodiasDental.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan, to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
OnsideRadio.com gives you a ton of options to listen to the station. You can now download free apps from Radio.net, Podbean, and Simple Radio. Download any of these free apps and listen to your favorite Onside host. Visit our website at OnsideRadio.com to find all these links.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Inter Miami fans, time to find out more about your favorite soccer team with OnsideRadio.com's IMCF Football Focus. Here's Austin Robillard.
Looking back at our first game, after a couple of rewatches, I've decided that I wanted to give my man of the match on Inter Miami side, not on Galaxy side, because we might be going with Chicharito. But on Inter Miami side, it's a toss-up between Robbie Robinson and Gonzalo Higuain. I'm going to slant a little bit towards Robbie Robinson. I think he created a lot in attack on the left wing. Phil Neville instructing him to do well in that role has been good for this team. Higuain with the goal and the assist. Obviously, it has a shout for the man of the match, but I'm going to go with Robbie Robinson and the chances he created and the goal he ended up scoring.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right. Coming up in the next segment, we're going to have Omar Kelly again, not a part of our EJTconstruction.com Miami Dolphins reports. Gonna have it's always fun talking with Omar, and we're getting closer and closer and closer to the draft next Thursday, April 29th. And now we're finally going to see what comes to fruition. Is it Kyle Pitts? Is it Jalen Waddle? Is it Devonta Smith? Is it Jamar Chase? Is it Penei Sewell? Bless Tito Sewell if it is Penei Sewell, because he will not be happy. Who is it going to be? And I think that's going to be one great thing to cover there, and it'll just be, man, it'll be awesome. I think I can't wait. I just cannot wait. Once that number 6 pick comes up, I'm going to be sitting there. I'm going to have my notifications turned off so that Adam Schefter doesn't ruin my excitement and tweet out the pick as he always does, or some other people do. Not going to, but Ian Rappaport said he's not, so that's cool. That's great. He already came out and said, I will not be tipping picks. And I like that. I don't want to see I have you guys up for all this other stuff, and I understand it's a business. You have to get, if you get the pick out there first, it's great. But I don't like the whole tipping picks thing. Not even like in the NBA, how ESPN has Woj do it, where they're like, oh, the Miami Heat are looking at Precious Achiuwa with that pick. It's like all this other stuff. It's like, dude, come on. The New Orleans Pelicans might possibly select Zion Williamson with the number 1 pick. They're thinking about it. It's like, dude, I don't understand why ESPN puts restrictions on you. Sean, we haven't talked much today. How you doing, man? are you able to? I don't know if you're too busy right now, but how you doing, Sean?
I'm never too busy for you, Kai.
Never.
Never.
So I have to ask. I know you said that from all of us that we've been talking and ranting and raving about the Super League, do you have an actual opinion on it, or is it still, soccer's not a sport?
I never said soccer wasn't a sport, first off. Why are you even throwing that out there? I never said soccer's not a sport. And since you hate it so much, Super League, Super League, Super League.
That's your stance right now?
That's my stance. Exact opposite of whatever Kai wants.
Listen, what do you mean? What about Dono doesn't like it either? Neither does Toast?
Dono and his terrible take the other day. I'm done with him.
Which terrible take?
All of them.
It
was the one with coffee and energy drinks.
Oh,
the energy drinks are for kids.
And you still,
Well, then call me a kid. Dono.
I still think, I don't know. I side on the coffee side there. I got my friend, so I realized there's these Arizona gummy bears that I think are pretty cool, and I thought you could only get them off like the Arizona website that they have and buy them, and they have to be shipped to you and everything like that. Apparently they have them on oh my gosh, what am I trying to say, at 7-Eleven. So the other day I went to 7-Eleven because there's a mobile 7-Eleven next to the stadium to get gas, and so I walked in and did everything, and I saw them there, and I was like, oh snap, they're there. So I got one of them, and I was like, oh, that's cool, because now I know I can get them at 7-Eleven. That's awesome. And then I saw a bunch of Celsius, and one of my very dear good friends, Lewis, is addicted to energy drinks. He went from G Fuel, which is like a gamer's energy drink that doesn't have any sugar, and so there's a couple other things about it, but it never really did anything for me, and I don't know, it always left a weird aftertaste, so I just don't drink it. So he went from that, and he was like having like 1 or 2 a day, and I was like, dude, and he's like, I like it for the flavor, and it's good, and I was like, at this point, it doesn't do anything for you. You're just drinking it to drink it. Nothing is helping you at all. You're just drinking it, and nothing's going through. Then last year, when I did the Food and Wine Festival here on South Beach, there was a bunch of leftover stuff and leftover product. And sometimes, these companies don't want their product anymore, and they're just like, listen, whatever's left over, just do with it what you want. There were, I would have to say, 4 or 5 pallets stacked up worth of Bang energy drink, and my friend, and LaCroix, my friend Lewis is addicted to Bang energy drink, and he wanted to try one so bad. He was like, oh, I like it. There's this dude, I can't remember his name, that did some commercial, and he really liked it, and he loves him. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll get you like 6 or 7 boxes of Bang. So I started it, and it's completely my fault, but I got him them. He loved them. He said peach mango Bang is his favorite. Then there's a couple other ones. He was addicted to them, and then he realized, oh wow, there's a lot of sugar, there's a lot of stuff, and it's Bang is not good for you. Just like Monster, it's not really that good for you, and these things are not great. So he went to Celsius, and Celsius, I guess, is supposed to be a better version. I'm not in the energy drink game, Sean, so I have no idea. But apparently Celsius is supposed to be a better version than like Bang, Monster, and Red Bull, from what I've heard.
Thank you for that breakdown.
Is it? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I drink one. I drink one brand, and since they don't pay me, I'm not going to say it. But I have one energy drink, and that's the one that I drink.
Is it because you just that's
and it's
the
one
first...
of the 4 you named, but
I mean I know which one it is because I think you mentioned it last time. But is it because like you just like what is it like what? Have you tried the other ones? Like what is it that?
Yeah, I go low sugar, and this one says it for me on the can, so it's easier.
Okay.
I'm a very simple guy. I'm steak and potatoes, man.
Always steak and potatoes. So is that what do you get at Flanagan's then? Like if you go to Flanagan's, what do you get, steak and potatoes at Flanagan's?
No, wings.
Oh, okay.
And straws, onion straws.
Okay. Good. All right. Like a Wing It Wednesday? Oh man, I can't wait for that. I got
ribs too. I do ribs.
Oh yeah. So I had tweeted at Flanagan's because they had an option where, and it wasn't letting me order ribs without pressing the option where you had to either order ribs dry or with sauce on the side. And I tweeted them and I was like, dude, what the heck? Why can
ribs
I just
dry?
Yeah, I was like, why can't I just order them how they normally are? So now it's an optional option that I've seen.
Somebody must have got upset. They got dirty. Probably got some barbecue sauce on their car.
But I was so confused. I was like, why do I have to select one? So I'd always select on the side, and you never get enough, and they taste weird because they were cooked dry and not, the baby back ribs from Flanagan's. But now, the last time I ordered after that, I was able to get them with everything on it already. So it was like an optional thing, which was great. Love that. I was very, very happy. But I can't wait to be able to. I have one more. Today's Tuesday, so it's 7 days since my second shot. So one more week on the 27th, and I can not go crazy because that's not how you do things. But I'll be able to at least feel a little more comfortable, maybe eating outside at a restaurant. So I might do like a Wing It Wednesday outside at like a Flanagan's, probably one of the ones that aren't that popular. Just might have to drive a little bit, but just be able to enjoy something. Anything and feel a little more comfortable. Obviously it's not over just because it's been 2 weeks past, but get a little more comfortable with things. What is it going to be for when do you think for you, Sean, is like the point in which you'll be able to feel comfortable maybe even eating outside at a restaurant?
I have not stopped. I ate at Flanagan's the other weekend.
Oh, okay.
I just watch what I do, and I very cognate with
how
myself
is it?
And everything.
Is it pretty safe?
It's easier now than it was before. I don't have everybody sitting on top of me. You got booths in between you, booths beside you. It's getting a little bit more
crowded
now because some of the easing of the restrictions. But
right.
Before you had a booth. I was the only one in my section in one area.
Oh, okay. So they've been pretty. I know Flanagan's because when everything
and they wipe the tables down right in front of you, so you know they're clean.
Okay. All right. So hey, that actually makes me feel a little more comfortable because I know when it first started, there was a huge when the pandemic first started, we got Flanagan's to go because they started doing that, which I think is fantastic in general, and then at a bigger scale. And when everyone was clumped up together trying to get that, there was a manager, and this is the one in Miami Shores, who was saying, listen, you guys need to spread out. If not, you're not going to get any of your orders, and they're going to shut us down because you need to be socially distant. And that's one that I have always loved going to. It's right next to Red Lobster on Northeast 125th, I believe. And it's always been my favorite because they just, they do everything the way that is right and everything is great. But that's good that Flanagan's in your, eyes has been doing a good job because then that makes me feel a little more comfortable.
No, everywhere I've gone, a lot of them, again, they don't want to be deemed as that place that, COVID outbreak, the super spreader event happened at.
Yeah. We used to order coffee from this place out here actually, and it was called California Coffee or Cali Coffee, and they had some very, very big COVID outbreak that they got in trouble for on Twitter and Instagram, and we have not gone back since because it was an employee was working with COVID, and it was a bad situation. Anyways, coming up, we're going to talk with Omar Kelly, a part of our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch a show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seam Heads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
This Saturday, Inter Miami CF visits the Philadelphia Union at Subaru Park.
And now Higuain trying to bend his run in behind. Flag is temporarily stayed down. Higuain is in at the square with Robinson. No square. Robbie Robinson has opened the scoring. The flag is stayed down. And Inter Miami are off and running in 2021. They lead the LA Galaxy by a goal to nil.
Join OnSideRadio.com as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Our pregame broadcast watch party starts at 7 p.m. Game time is 8 p.m. Listen to all the games by going to our website at OnSideRadio.com and download any of our apps. Follow Inter Miami CF all year long on your home for football. OnSideRadio.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
The Miami Heat beat the Houston Rockets 113-91. Kendrick Nunn had 30 points. The Heat's next game is Wednesday in San Antonio. Tip-off 8:30. Florida Panthers, they win their second in a row, this time a 3-2 victory over Columbus. They skate against again tonight. The Blue Jackets puck drops at 7. And Vanessa Bryant and the Kobe Bryant estate have elected to not renew their partnership with Nike. Kobe's Nike contract expired April 13th. This is South Florida's home for local sports talk. This is OnSideRadio.com.
Brace yourself. You might not hear what you want. You can always expect Omar to keep it real, whether you like it or not. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sun Sentinel writer Omar Kelly. EJD is your one-stop shop, custom home builder, and general contractor for residential construction. Call them 305-433-4843. Find them on Facebook at EJD Construction. Here's Omar Kelly with your Miami Dolphins report segment.
All right, time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. You can, of course, find him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and find him throughout the week here at Onside Radio on that EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Omar, good morning. How you doing?
I am doing excellent. How are you?
I am doing very, very good. I think everything is going well, and I'm excited. Besides my hatred for the Super League, I don't know if you know much of what's been going on with that. Everything else has been going great for me. I've been having a great day, so that's been good.
Super League, is that superheroes, the League of Superheroes?
You haven't heard anything of it, Omar?
Nah.
Oh,
no
man.
clue.
You gotta ask your boy Kobe about it. It's been happening. It's a soccer thing that's happening right now, where some of the major clubs in Europe are forming a super league to try and it's a cash grab. That's the biggest way I can explain it.
It's like they're trying to form their pro league.
They're trying to get away from their current leagues that they're a part of in their respective countries and make a league of their own. Well, not get out of their current leagues. We don't really know how that's going to work, but they're trying to make a league of their own, and it's pretty much being invested by JP Morgan Chase. It's like 3.5 billion euros per club. that joins, and it's a whole money thing, and people are upset.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing that to me, I am not a soccer fan, obviously. So the fact that there's so many different leagues and so many different teams, I'd have to play FIFA to kind of understand the hierarchy. But hey, cool to them for what they're doing in terms of why are you against it?
It's not it's not like the fabric of how soccer is. It's all about the fan aspect and being in your leagues and doing everything. So it's a whole. I could go on and on for explanation, and it would just take up the entire report here and talking about the Dolphins off of my frustration. But
it seems like you just don't like change. I understand. I'm that way sometimes too.
Maybe, who knows? But with the Dolphins, we're getting up. We're getting closer and closer. Next Thursday is the draft. I think pretty soon here, Chris Greer and them should be talking as well, correct? And having a press conference?
Tomorrow.
What are you expecting out of that press conference?
They'll probably have 2 or 3 messages that they want to send to other teams in their fan base and be consistent with those messages. One of them's probably Tua's going to be our quarterback. We're going to get him some weapons. We're going to take the best player available, and we'll certainly probably be open to making trades. So that's generally the message just about every year.
So you think that there is, of course, Ian Rappaport tweeted it yesterday and said the Dolphins could potentially move down from 6. Do you think it'll be a draft day trade, or do you think it'll come before then?
The Dolphins have been a trade. Even when they traded down to trade up, I said 6, they're still probably going to move. But they traded up. Here's the rationale. They traded up to 6 with the understanding that at least 3 quarterbacks, maybe 4, will go in the top 4 picks, and that they'll have the opportunity to select one of the premier players in this draft. There are, 3 kind of premier players in those tiers. One of them happens to be the Florida tight end. One of them happens to be the LSU tight end, and then Oregon's Penei Sewell. And I would really say 4 because the Slater kid is just as good an offensive lineman. I would probably say Sewell fits Miami a little bit more because they need to get a little bit nasty in the run game, and that's where Sewell is better as a run blocker. Slater is better as a pass blocker. But if there is a 4th quarterback that's sitting out there and there's a team that's interested and is willing to give up the currency and might be willing to trade another 2nd-round pick or another or future 1st-round pick to move up, whether it be the Patriots or the Lions or Denver or somebody even lower, I definitely think the Dolphins will be open to listening and willing to make that trade just because no matter what, I think as long as they stay within maybe the top 12, 14 selections, they'll still end up with a Devontae Smith or a Jalen Waddle, and that could definitely satisfy their need. And also, I feel like they need additional picks instead of, they've got 5 pretty high picks, but after that, they run a little thin on selections and really are just picking up special teamers. Now, 5 picks is a pretty good amount to get in terms of decent players, but I think in this rebuild, you probably want to walk away from this draft with about 6 legitimate players.
Yeah. You mentioned the Patriots in that. You think that they would do a division trade there?
They've already done a division trade many times over.
In an important way, like having to get that, I guess the Patriots probably come up for a quarterback if it's there.
For the right price, they do a trade. They do a trade with anybody. They've already traded with the Patriots multiple times before. I don't think it stops them. And as I consistently point out that I don't think people pay much attention to, since Chris Greer has become the general manager of the Miami Dolphins, he's made more trades than any other executive in the NFL. So he's definitely open to trading with anybody.
What do you?
And I expect multiple trades during the draft. That's just his way.
Okay. If we had to give an over-under, well, let's say over-under 3 from Chris Greer and the Dolphins, would you take the over there?
I'd take the under.
Okay.
There are about 3. They make about 3 trades a draft during Chris Greer. I don't think Dolphin fans really pay attention, but they make about 3 trades per draft with Chris Greer as the head of the operation.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on DJ Fluker now being signed by the Dolphins? It being announced by him yesterday and officially confirmed by the team. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good signing from a depth standpoint. Cushions you for a possible injury. And, I've always said there are probably about 4 legitimate NFL starters into having a good offensive line, and you really need a 5th. I'm not saying DJ Fluker is that 5th, but you can't necessarily rule it out. But one thing that he's a stopgap player. He's just there from a depth standpoint. This team is building around their youth, and DJ Fluker now officially becomes the oldest player on the roster at 30.
So you don't think that there's going to be maybe any competition between him or let's say Flowers? Nothing at all.
No, nothing. They don't really allow competition. That's not fair.
There was some competition last year on the offensive line.
Let me take that.
Like a little bit.
Really? No, who? Tell me, where was it?
I mean, I guess technically you would. I guess the one thing I would think of is maybe the Jesse Davis stuff, but he was really kind of given his thing, so he wasn't really competition. So I would have to.
Jesse Davis began the year as a starter, moved around as a swing player. And then when Hunt got in and really started to play, they valued Hunt's development over Jesse Davis's performance. Right. And I think Jesse Davis is still the superior player, but, the upside is greater with Hunt. So even then they didn't allow competition. They on the offensive line, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because the one thing I will give Brian Flores credit for is the person who practices well gets to play. Well, it might not start, but he gets to play. He gets a role carved out for him. So it could be an undrafted rookie. And if he practices well that week, they're going to find a role for him. That's how Myles Gaskin got the starting job.
Right.
He practiced well. They carved out a role. He played that role well. He got the starting job. He kept the starting job because he continued to perform. That's how Brian Flores operates. But with the exception of the offensive line, that's really not really hasn't really been a competition. And if it was a competition, Solomon Kinley wouldn't have been a starter last year.
So who do you think then rounds out that? We have to think that Kinley, Hunt, and Jackson are going to be on that offensive line come starting season, right?
Yeah, I think so on Kinley and Hunt. I'm sorry, on Jackson and Hunt.
Right.
If Kinley, to me, has to lose weight, he's got to get himself in better shape. If he's not going to get himself in better shape, I'm not having a 340-pound line out on field. Sorry. That just prohibits your movement skills and ability to pull, and it just limits your run game. But, props to the young man for continuing to – he looks like he's losing weight. I haven't seen him in person, but on social media posts, he certainly looks skinnier. Ideally, he should probably be in a 325 range, and if he can get there, because I did like his film at Georgia, and I think he has movement skills. It's just he put on way too much weight last year.
They wanted to get that Mauler type of thing with him and Hunt. I feel like that's something I came away with last year.
I'm not too big on that, but I can understand what they're trying to do. The problem is they haven't been very effective with it for the last 2 years. So my theory is I'm not sure it necessarily works.
Okay. What do you make of Nick Needham?
That's not my style. Just I want athletic offensive linemen. I want to zone block. I want to trap. I want to pull. That's just my style. Now, if the Dolphins want to bulldoze and power all game, props to them, and maybe it works, but so far it hasn't. So, 3-point whatever. 3-point the year before they had the worst rushing attack in franchise history, and last year 3.9 yards per carry. So power's not working.
Ideally, you always want to get someone that's going to be like Quentin Nelson, that is screaming while he's running down and doing everything he can possibly do.
Yeah, give me Quentin Nelson. They don't have Quentin Nelson.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Really quickly here, what do you feel about Nick Needham? He comes back now as well. What do you think his role on the team is going to be? Do you think it's going to be a competition between him and others to win that nickel job?
Yes, I definitely do believe they added competition in what's his name, Robinson. I'm trying to find him for Justin Coleman. I'm sorry, I said Robinson. Justin Coleman. Now he didn't sign big money deal, but he got $1.5 million. $1 million of it is guaranteed. He's a veteran starter on in terms of the nickel position. Nick did well, with the exception of the Buffalo game, where he showed some limitations from a speed standpoint. Now, the question is, can Nick continue to progress and become a very good nickel? And I think he can. I believe in Superstar. which is what I've called him. But he's got competition now. This is some serious competition because Justin Coleman has been an NFL starter for multiple teams for multiple seasons. He's a veteran nickel. And he should add some depth, some quality depth to this team. So Nick's going to have to, Nick has always, and let me preface this by saying, Nick has always earned everything that he's gotten. He's the type of player that I respect the most on the Dolphins roster. Nothing is ever handed to him. Everything is earned. So I do believe that Nick will work super hard knowing that the Dolphins just signed their replacement. They're probably just signed his replacement. They're probably going to draft his replacement. But understand the financial aspect of it. If Nick Needham performs, he's looking at being a restricted free agent for roughly $3 million next year, and that's a pretty penny to pay Nick Needham. So it's going to be interesting to see. He's going to have to earn it.
Yeah, I like Nick Needham, and I think especially with how he's been able to progress and everything that he's done, especially over the past 2 years as a Dolphin, I like it a lot. So, of course, I'm hoping the best for him. Omar, thank you so much for coming on, man. Again, this is Omar Kelly, a part of our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, and you can catch Omar throughout the week here. Draft next week. Omar, I'm sure you're going to be busy. Thank you so much, man.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
So always, as we said, Miami Dolphins fans can count on the best coverage here at OnSideRadio.com. Every week you can keep up with the Dolphins with Omar Kelly when he joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, you can catch the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. From additions to home remodeling, call Eric at 305-433-4843. Count on a company that's an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. EJDconstruction.com.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
It's toast. Smartest thing I did last year? Called B&T Windows and Doors and had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house. Listen, it's spring. That means before you know it, we'll be hearing about the tropics churning. That means you need to get your home and family protected today. Call B&T right now and they'll get you installed ASAP with the best in the business, PGT Custom Windows and Doors. 954-233-0126 or bntwindowsanddoors.com. And P.S. Tell them you heard about them on Onside Radio.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The Panthers kept pace for first place in the Central Division, taking down the Columbus Blue Jackets last night by the score of 4-2. Frank Vetrano stayed hot, scoring twice and getting off a game-high 7 shots on goal. Trade deadline acquisition Sam Bennett continued to fit right in with his new squad. He scored a goal last night, giving him 3 points in his first 2 games as a Panther. The Cats and Blue Jackets will get right back at it, closing out the second half of their back-to-back set tonight at the BB&T Center. The big news heading into tonight's game is Panthers' top goaltending prospect Spencer Knight will make his NHL debut between the pipes for Florida. The 20-year-old was selected in the first round of the 2019 NHL Draft and has been stellar since then, playing for Boston College in the NCAA ranks and for Team USA internationally. Florida enters today's games tied with the Carolina Hurricanes for first place in the Central Division. The Hurricanes are also wrapping up a back-to-back tonight. They're in Tampa, facing the Lightning. As it stands, Florida and Carolina are ahead of Tampa by 1 point in the Central Division standings.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right, rounding out hour 2. We have Big O in the studio. How's it going, O?
Loving life, baby.
Oh, I don't think. Now we're good.
Loving life. It's a beautiful thing. We got Carlos in from Sports Grill. We got some special wings
Are
for
they seen
lunch.
on the? I'm pretty sure. Are they seen on the thing back here?
Yeah,
they are. They're in
they
the
can see
background.
it.
of it.
Okay. That bag of Sports Grill. These
Yeah.
guys are about to. I mean, when I start the air, when I get on the air, Tito, Sean, Tim, and Kai are going to be devouring those damn wings, and I'll be by myself here talking to you guys. I won't even be able to go to a break because these guys will be stuffing their faces with wings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Handled my lunch completely. I'm gonna be eating good.
Oh, the best wings in the world, baby. You're about to have the best wings in the world.
It'll be nice. It'll be great. How's your day been so far? Like in your morning, everything?
Everything great, my brother. I mean, it doesn't get better than when I can start my day with some special grilled wings from Sports Grill. So yes, it is a beautiful day. Today we're gonna have Kyle Krabs from the Draft Network, so we'll talk a little draft with him
guy as well.
Ira Winderman, of course, who can be exclusively only heard right here on OnsideRadio.com, will join us for our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report at 1:34. So we'll have a little fun with Ira there. So we got a lot of things, and then I got a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about, and we're going to break down some of that stuff that Ian Rappaport was talking about with the Dolphins and the 6th pick. We will
Possibly
we
trading?
will shed. No, we will shed the honesty on what's really going on with the Dolphins.
I have to ask your thoughts on the Super League as an Arsenal fan.
Listen, well, I mean, we suck.
We know Man City
anyways.
fan over here has got and Tito has his coach coming out against it. So
I already told you what's going on. It's the Americans influencing the international world now of doing things the way the Americans do it, and that's what's going on. Ultimate greed is stepping in, like what the NFL's all about. And so these guys, and some of these guys are NFL owners that are part of this.
yeah, the Buccaneers owner owns.
Right. This will ruin international soccer because it will make all those leagues minor leagues. You will only have one Super League, and so fans will get spoiled. And if it's not Super League, nothing else is going to be impressive.
Right.
So it's going to be bad for international soccer overall. But what's going on is the problem is when leagues are top heavy, it's an issue.
Yeah.
And if you're
they've all become top heavy essentially.
And if you're carrying, the other half that they don't carry their weight, it becomes a pain in the ass for them. And that's kind of like what happened in baseball, where you had cheap-ass Jeffrey Loria taking in everybody's tax money and then not using it for players. And so then the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Cubs are pissed because those guys and the Red Sox are paying the tax. And then the tax is supposed to go to a team that doesn't have the same fortunes, but you're supposed to reinvest it into and Loria did not. He pocketed it, not reinvested it.
It was him and Samson.
Yeah,
right? That was doing...
but it was all, but it's all
Yeah, of course.
Loria running the show because
Yeah.
he's the one that decides it. And so when you have that, then you piss off the Yankees. Like, okay, we're carrying the Marlins bum ass because they can't do it right. Well, that's what's going on in international soccer. The top teams are getting to a point like, yo, why are we carrying the last 2 or 3 teams in this league when they don't even belong in this league? They can't draw the same kind of money, and they got to use my money. And so now greed steps in and says, well, wait a minute, why don't we just team up with several people, and then let's just be the powerful teams, the ones with deep pockets. We all get to benefit from it. The ones with the biggest fan bases, we all get to benefit from it. So I think that's what's going on right now, man. It's a business is what's happening, and that's it sucks, but
I don't think it'll go through though. To be honest with you, I don't think it'll come to fruition.
It all depends. Well, see, if UEFA and FIFA weren't so damn corrupt. You know what I mean? And that's where, again, that's another
becomes
thing
an issue
that kind of hurts you also in the process. So this is not a good situation for the league.
I think everything will come out fine. I don't think the league's actually going to solidify and become a thing. Hopefully you have a great show. Every Saturday at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Robillard and Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, catch up with your favorite team, including our very own Inter Miami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 to 1 p.m. with Austin Robillard, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Big O Show. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Welcome to OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk.
This is like rock and roll with no music.
Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Kai Chen Chisholm.
Congratulations are in order for streamer and now the new 100 Thieves content creator Kaide, as she becomes their first international streaming star. The streamer, who does stream exclusively on Twitch, becomes the first international star for 100 Thieves, as she is from Canada. The 19-year-old, who is still in school, will be a part of the content creation side. And they like her personality and the community she built, and they said that she strives to create a better space for women in gaming, and that they're excited to have her a part of 100 Thieves. Though mainly positive, one of the things that has been noticed by some has been the reference of her being just Tenz's girlfriend, Tenz of course who plays for Sentinels, and not just saying Kaide, who is a Twitch streamer. She has been given some credit by some outlets such as Dixerto in the headlines, just being named as Tenz's girlfriend. Congratulations are in order to Kaide, as she does become the first international content creator for 100 Thieves.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report.
Now streaming online.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South